Should you invest in copper? Copper is one of the greatest precious metals ever. I love this thing right here. But I'm going to give you the price of precious metals and tell you why copper is still one of the best investments. So let's look at what copper is actually used for. Copper is used for electronics. It's in cell phones. It's in this digital camera. It's even in watches. Copper is everywhere. Copper, the whole world needs copper. But here's the thing, it's a very cheap metal. It's very cheap. In fact, copper is actually $3.80 a pound. A pound. Not an ounce. A pound. An ounce of copper probably only about worth what? A couple cents? 30 cents maybe? Pretty cheap. But should you invest in copper? It is one of the best investments yet. But it's how you invest in copper that matters. Here's why. Now let's look at what copper is used for. Copper is used for electronics. Copper is used for pipes. The pipes that we actually have in here, everything needs copper because of its erosion process. It's one of the best precious metals. It's cheap. It's called poor man's silver, or PMS. That's weird. But it's called poor man's silver. Everyone needs copper. It's in houses. It's in electronics. Now how do you invest in it? One, you can always get the ETF on the stock market, or you can actually get it in your hand. However, there are pros for doing it, and there are cons for investing in copper. So let's look at what it is. If you go on, you can go to, if you want it on the stock market as an electronic trading fund, or an ETF as it's actually called, in order to get copper, you can go to Fidelity, you can go to Scottrade, you can go to E-Trade, you can go to ING. What it's going to cost you, now here's the problem, a lot of people don't know. Copper is $3.08 a pound. Guess what? If you go to Fidelity or any place that charges you $7.95 or more, you're going to have to pay more to trade it than actually it is to buy it. That's the problem. It's going to cost you $7.95 or $9.95 at most places just to buy that 1 ounce. Now let's say you just wanted 100 ounces of it. Great. So at 100 pounds, it's going to be about a couple hundred. You'd be fine. Okay? So the reason why is ETF, it's fine. You can get it on the stock market. It's going to charge you more to trade, to buy it, than it actually is for it. Now let's look at another way. Let's say you want it in your hand. Let's say you actually wanted the copper in your hand. Well, it's great. But guess what? The copper's been melted. Now you got to pay the extra price. Now we actually call that the made price. So if I wanted this and I wanted to buy this, I'm not just buying the ink. I'm also buying the labor. I'm buying the amount that they actually put in for it. So if you want to buy copper, it's going to cost you $3.08 plus 1/3. 1/3 is going to be about, let's just say, an extra $1. So it's going to cost you about $5 to buy copper a pound. You can buy the pipe for the house. You can buy something else, and it's great. Okay, $5 a pound, LB. Okay? Now, there are pros and cons of doing this. Copper is not a precious metal the government would actually confiscate, because they were able to confiscate gold before. Gold itself was at $1,800 an ounce, silver itself was at $33 an ounce, copper itself was at $3.80 a pound. And things were different. The government only confiscates high-quality precious metals, such as gold and silver. They actually don't need copper, but the whole world needs copper. Everyone has copper. It's in the buildings, it's in the wiring, it's in the cameras. They don't need it. However, there are pros and cons of doing this. The con of buying copper and holding it, you need to know what to do. What are you going to do with it? Think about that. What are you going to use copper for? The only people who need copper are the people who actually need it in their daily lives. They're plumbers, they're contractors, they're electricians. Who really needs it? I mean, are you honestly going to have copper in the safe? For what? Why would someone want to buy the copper you have? So there's a con, which is called use. What do you actually need it for? What are you going to use it for? The pro for this is that everyone needs copper. It's like cotton. The whole world needs it. So it has a very large utility. Copper has a very large utility. Everyone needs it. However, if you buy the copper, someone may have to melt it down and have to bring it in. This is copper piping or copper wiring right here. This is actually used and it's very hollow. It actually allows you to bring water from one part of the building to another securely without any infestations or infections or anything inside of it. Okay? Copper has a very large utility. However, the con for this is that you need to know what to use it for. Okay? So get it in piping and get it in wiring. Or better yet, just buy the ETF. If you buy the ETF, it's going to cost you more to trade it. So buy more than $10 in copper. But I'm going to give you a disclaimer. I'm just telling you it's my advice. You need to do your research. Buy more than $10, 10 shares in copper, which is going to be about $38 at least or so, plus commission, which is only 7 or higher. That's it. You can invest in it in your hand. It's going to be a bit more, but honestly, that's the thing. Everyone uses copper. Everyone needs copper. The whole world needs it. It's up to you. Do you want to invest in copper, or do you want to just say no? The fact is, copper is going to go up. Even the government needs copper. The White House has miles and miles and miles of copper piping. Everyone needs it. Let's say the faucet broke. All right, what are you going to do? Get copper. Everyone needs it. New buildings coming up, copper piping. Oh, new hotel check, need copper piping. Everyone needs it. It's up to how you invest in it. Buy the ETF. That way, the entire world needs it. It's going to go up in price. If you buy it in your hand, it goes up in price, but you've actually already have it. You already have the hand part. You don't. The whole world's not going to need that. They don't need the one copper pipe you have. They need the ETF. The thing is, you got to be able to overcome that amount that it actually costs you to trade that. So if you're willing to do that, congratulations, you got it. You're willing to do this, it's even better. My advice, get the ETF. The ETF is a lot better for you. All right? That's how you invest in copper. Thank you.